daily coverage of an individual news event or issue.
Okay, gracias, sir.
That Geo again.
All right. In the aftermath of Beirut's devastating explosion.
No, this is the Post.
Yeah, sorry. I saw that Geo on the side.
All right. If you guys would like readings, let me know.
Oof.
Okay, that's the first entry. Second entry, please. We still care. Minnesota's food industry shifts gears to feed the most vulnerable. I was going to say that's using too much white space there. Is there something that is
Like it needs to load. Looks like there was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the ad for the rodents. It's terrible.
Yeah, these ads are unfortunate.
It's an algorithm. It's so hard to tell a story like this, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Visually, I mean. It just makes me really sad. You just can't really identify what it is just by looking at it.
The story?
Well, you know that it's food centric, but you might not know that it could be a variety of different things, each individual picture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could just be in a massive food supply place that has nothing to do with a story about hunger. Mm.
All right, next entry, please. Western wildfires, blazes fueled by climate change engulf vast region in crisis. Looks like Washington State, Oregon, and California.
Wow.
Yeah, on the East Coast, it's like once the newsroom stopped reporting on fires on a national level, you can almost forget.
Mhm.
This is incredible coverage.
Okay, that's a swipe thing, isn't it? No, that's just dates. It took a long time to load. There we go. Okay, that's the last of that entry. A string of explosions, screams, then blood. Azerbaijan? I can't pronounce that. I'm not gonna try.
Azerbaijan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm working on my cultural competencies for international stuff. I cannot say
You
that.
just have to listen to
They
NPR
ruin
radio,
it.
which is my husband does. That's just seeps into.
Are these terrorist attacks or?
Let's read the subhead.
Sorry, we don't have to go all the way back. Oh, all right.
There is no subhead.
Explosions,
there we
appears
go.
of explosions.
Caught in an American rocket attack, a New York Times reporting team captures the agony of exploding of an exploding dirty war.
Armenian.
Okay, thank you. Day 2.
Good.
I'm sorry, y'all. Look, I'm in denial. I don't have any glasses on.
It's my,
I was
my
like,
Armenian.
wait, America's just dropping bombs on Azerbaijan.
my
What?
19th,
Stuck at-
my 19th century.
Prayer.
I don't think we're ever going to forget that one. I thought it was a new word.
We were all going with you.
I appreciate the support.
So tragic. Hmm.
All right, that is the end of that entry. Susan McKenzie says we love the magnifying glass. Next entry, please. All right. All right, we're hurting. We're hurting. We're hurting. Grief and outrage converged in Minneapolis. George Floyd's death sparked nationwide protests. The pain has tapped into long simmering divisions that have plagued his hometown. Okay, next piece. Looks like it's from Houston. Texas boomtowns have gone bust with oil. Communities mourn economic revival. All right, economic revival brought by shale revolution. Okay. Do you guys want to watch any piece of this video or straight up photos? It's 1 minute.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You drop off the Cap Rock and you can see 200 miles. You can see the outline of the Guadalupe Mountains. No, it's not a lot to look at, mesquites and tumbleweeds, but the air's clear except for the dust. And every once in a while somebody will say, what is that horrible odor? And as one of my ranchers says, that is the smell of money. I'm the owner and operator of Mary's Flowers and Gifts in the small town of Kermit, Texas, USA, America. I have been in the shop for 44 years. I have owned it since 1986. We're probably seeing right now probably about a 35 to 50% drop in average sales. Part of it is due to the coronavirus, but a lot of it is due to the drop of oil prices and natural gas prices.
Okay. Mosey on down. Got a gallery here. Alrighty.
Most of my neighbors are oil field, or appear to be. You know, you can tell. It's not quite a ghost town yet, but there's a somber feel to everything. It went from fun, family-oriented, happy, just to kind of nothing going on. It's furloughed March 25th. I don't know how long it's going to be. It's pretty scary because, you know, it's just taking my livelihood. It's taken a lot away from me. It's kind of difficult for me to figure out where I'm going to go from here. Just even thinking about not going to work in the oil field anymore makes me sad. So we'll see. I mean, may have to find something else, a different field for a little while till things kick back up. I want to be here and I want to be readily available for if something does come up. Most of my neighbors
Okay, next entry, please. All right, the Little Shell Tribe of Chippewa Indians celebrate federal recognition. The tribal nation in Montana is the 574th to be recognized by the United States. Got a gallery at the top. Thank you. Oh, okay. Alrighty then. And I believe it's our last entry in this category. Yes, it is. Hailing from the Houston Chronicle. Is there a headline? Okay. Sunnyside fights against being dumped on again.
Sorry, can we see is there a subhead? Something. Oh, I guess maybe not. Okay.
Maybe in the caption, hold on. Pastor Doris Gray, 47, participates in worship service at Sunnyside's First Missionary Baptist Church in Houston. So Sunnyside is a church, sounds like.
Okay. Oh no, Sunnyside is an area.
Is an area?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Yes, look at that, a locator map and everything. We'll just do 1 minute of this. We need to do
It's been a while and we're just getting back to the flow of worship. Amen. Let us do our responsive reading. Amen. Amen. I know it's in your heart now. You don't even need to look at it.
The teaching
Okay.
now, love.
another gallery here. Okay, so that's the end of that entry. So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 entries. We've got 1 from the Washington Post, 2 from Houston. I'm sorry, 2 from the Washington Post. The explosion story. The other Washington Post was the wildfire story. Nat Geo story that Morgan is hovering over is the food story. What are you guys feeling so far? I saw you taking notes, Mei Ying, so I'll start with you.
I'm liking Beirut, Armenia rocket attack, and Floyd in Minneapolis. I would just remove Shale Boomtown, Chippewa Indians, Sunnyside, just at the beginning to start.
Suzette, what are you thinking?
I would remove those 2 Chronicle ones and the High Country one. I liked the Nat Geo Floyd, the New York Times, Azerbaijan. And I wasn't super in love with the Minnesota food banks. And I thought the 2 Washington Post ones were awesome.
Okay. Daryl, what you thinking?
I should have taken notes, but I think, yeah, Washington Post, Beirut, I think the fire one was amazing. Just not just the photography, but the way it was presented with the autoplay video was great. I think
The wildfire one, you mean?
wildfire one. What did I say?
You probably said that. I was just making sure that's what I heard.
I think the Houston Chronicle stuff kind of suffered a little bit from presentation. You know what I mean? Because all the photos smaller, and you know everybody else is doing kind of these full bleed. And this high country, I would lose to. I agree the food bank thing wasn't as strong as it could have been.
Let's go back to this high country one. Does anybody feel that it should stay? What about this story wasn't hitting right for you?
I mean, it's a good story. I think there wasn't anything necessarily special about the photos, you know. It was
okay.
Nothing special about it.
Anybody else? Nikki?
Sorry, how to unmute. I agree with everyone actually. With the high country news, like it's interesting. It wasn't special enough. Yeah.
Okay, so is the consensus to take this out?
Yes.
Okay, so let's get rid of this one. Let's look at the 2 Houston stories. Does this stay or does this go?
I would lose this one, personally.
Okay.
I think it's also suffered a little bit from like a bad, like I don't know what the story's about.
Mm-hmm. So that's 2 outs. Is there a third?
But I think also besides not knowing what the story is about with words, we don't know what the story is about with photos either.
Yeah.
And we should have, we should be able to glean more information from visual language.
Yeah. And if it was a story about this church, then I think it could have been a better photo piece about a church. You know what I mean? If it's about like the history of this church, and it seems like a kind of a miss for me.
Yeah, credit I think is kind of repetitive.
Okay, so this sounds like this goes. Okay, there is another Houston story in there, which is the oil boom. Yeah.
That's a good story, but it doesn't hold up to the other ones, like to the wildfires and
Is it worth an honorable mention?
I don't know if it's fleshed out enough. I mean, it's the story. It's the nomad land story. You know, it's to these sort of industrial businesses disappearing, and what happens to the places that were built around them. It's going to be a story that's going to keep getting told, and I bet it will get told really well, aside from the beautiful movie that was made about it. And if you haven't seen that movie, absolutely, you must see it.
Yeah. All right.
Which one? What's it called?
Nomadland.
Oh, yes. That's
so beautifully shot.
Yeah.
If nothing else, but it's kind of a must see.
So does this stay in the honorable mention for now?
It was just, there was nothing in it that wowed me.
Yeah, it doesn't, somebody will do it, but this maybe isn't where it's happened.
So does this out? Does it consistent?
Take it out.
Yeah, that's 3 head nods. Okay, so that's gone. Nat Geo's Grief. Yes, Grief and Outrage in Minneapolis. George Floyd. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is great. I think it kind of, this is what I know I keep bringing this story up from that, but this is kind of like what I would expect for a story about the George Floyd murder, like fully fleshed out, like you seeing all aspects of it, not just the violence,
Mhm.
not
Right.
just smashing windows. Like you see the grieving, but then you see the other side of it too, which is the rage. And I think that other piece was just all rage and not enough of the mourning, so I think this is great.
It's very humanizing. And I
Yeah.
think, if you go down like that middle shot of where the man is yelling into the camera, I mean, it's just like, I think that's such a good example of like protest photos that, make you see the person and not just and the emotion, and be inside of that person's pain instead of just kind of being too far removed. And I think also there's a lot of complexity in some of these images, but they don't, I think the photo editing helps them not fight with each other.
I think the sense of place, just putting it in Minneapolis, is just really brings you into it. It's like you're there because of the way the photos are played and the editing and like the moments.
Nikki, how do you feel about this story? Does it place in the top 3 for you?
It does, because it's both humanizing. I get to see exactly what everyone said, a sense of place. I get to see the action. I understand multiple angles of the story. Yes.
Okay, so let's move this to the top 3.
Photographs are they're well constructed. They have nice geometry.
Let's talk about Wildfire.
I love that one.
Who said that? Susan?
I did.
Okay. Is this placed in the top 3 for you?
It is.
Maying, Daryl? Suzette can't really comment on this one, but Nikki, anybody else?
I would disagree. I would say this is probably an honorable mention for me. I like that they tried to do something with the those little bits of video that are embedded as like almost little video vignettes. But I feel like the editing is too loose. And in many cases, when I see diptychs or a little group, I feel like the diptychs are working against each other because they're too similar.
Daryl, what were your thoughts here in Wildfires?
Well, Maying just messed my whole thought process.
It's almost a forgotten story, so it's so great. It's so great to be reminded like this, that this also happened.
Yeah, I think I just admire the sheer ambition of it. You know what I mean? I agree that I think if this were like it was one fire in one place, then maybe the edit would bother me more. But this is like it happened across the whole, like in multiple places. So I think that's why maybe some of it feels a little repetitive. But I mean that is.
That's Golden Gate Bridge, right?
Well, this is an example.
Yeah, I think
where like, and I feel like this happened multiple times, and I know like, yeah, of course, like Wildfire stuff does get, can get repetitive, but at the same time, I feel like maybe there needed to be a more overarching look at how things were like within the different sections were working against or to each other. Because by the time we got to the bottom, I just felt like it was so long. I mean, yeah, I agree with you that the ambition is really great.
Yeah, for me, it was my takeaway is you have heard that California's on fire. It is really entirely on fire.
Yeah.
Nikki, what say you?
Hi guys, I'm so sorry. I'm flying out really early in the morning and I have like an errand to run, so I'm half in and half out. I agree. The images are great. They're beautiful. They grab your attention in a way that can help force the viewer to care, to see the scope of the fires. That's a beautiful image.
Is this the top 3 for you?
It is not a top 3, no.
Is it an
But
honorable
an honorable
mention?
mention, yes. Honorable mention
Okay,
for me.
so we've got 2 honorable mentions and 2 in the top 3. So we'll put a pin in that and we'll come back. What about the Beirut devastation? Is this top 3?
It's top 3 for me, for sure.
Daryl says yes.
Yeah.
Susan,
Yes.
Mei Ying, Nikki?
Yes, for me.
Okay, cool. So Beirut, Minnesota, grief. What's that third tab?
No, it's the food bank.
Oh, no, okay. So the second one, what's that? Is that the food bank? Okay, yes, that's the food bank. Does this stay or does this go? Is it honorable mention? Right now you guys have 5, so they can all stay if you so choose. So
Yeah.
this is Nat Geo. Suzette, you can come back.
I liked it. I thought it could have been like a tighter edit.
So would it be a top 3 for you or would it be an honorable
I
mention?
think it would be an honorable mention for me.
Daryl, that was a mighty deep sigh. What are you thinking?
Sorry, I'm just thinking about lunch.
You saw those big chafing dishes of food.
Yes.
I mean, I could live without this one, honestly.
Yeah.
Same.
I think
Susan, you said me too?
I can live without it for sure.
Mei Ying?
And so can I.
I'd be okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so it's
Out.
we got 3 outs.
You're really going to get hungry now.
Let's see. The last one that's left is Susan. Who helped me? Whose husband?
Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
Yes, Azerbaijan. I'm gonna practice. Okay.
Rasia Iqbal reporting from Azerbaijan.
All right. What are your thoughts on this piece? Tragedy, screams and blood.
Oof.
I thought it was a really good collection of images, but in terms of photo editing, I feel like they were all kind of at the same distance. I mean, the images are incredibly strong.
Does this place top 3 for you, Mei Ying? What we have left is the wildfires,
Yeah.
grief and outrage, and Beirut.
I would consider it for maybe 3rd.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think I agree about the shots being very similar. You know, it's like all the same distance. I was kind of thinking that same thing as we're going through it. It's like, this is very powerful photos, but they're all very similar.
Mm-hmm.
A group of people and a body, you know what I mean? In a lot of the shots.
So what is, I'm unclear on what is number 1. Let's establish that.
For me, number 1 and 2 are between Beirut and Floyd in Minneapolis.
Anybody else?
For me, I'm up there with wildfires, Beirut, and Floyd.
Floyd is number 3 for you, Susan?
Yeah, just mixed in. They're the 3 contenders that we can
Oh, okay.
we can talk about.
Suzette's kind of out because she's got 2 entries in here. Nikki, what's your, out of what's remaining, what are your top 3?
Oh. Sorry, I'm on a tiny screen right now. I'm like, oh, I can only see the Azerbaijan right now. I can't see the the top 3 anymore. So Beirut for sure. I agree with everything that everyone's saying about Azerbaijan photos. Like, I know the photographer is too far, but that image of the man covered or the person covered on the ground with the leaves around them is just incredible. Like how to photograph death, both beautiful, graceful, respectful. It's the whole thing. I, yeah, I would at the very least like this to be either a third or an honorable mention. That one.
Okay.
And what are our top three at the moment?
So,
Sorry.
So what, there's 4 that remain. It's the aftermath of Beirut.
Okay. Beirut's in.
Hmm?
Beirut's in. Okay, definitely.
Mhm. Grief
Beirut
and
one.
outrage in Minneapolis.
Okay.
Western wildfires and gosh,
And this one.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Azerbaijan.
So for me, I think Beirut 1, Minnesota 2, Azerbaijan 3, honorable mention for wildfires.
Anybody else with a lineup?
I would consider Floyd for 1.
I was thinking that too.
Okay,
We're going to get into a real snarl here.
yeah, let's talk about Floyd. So Susan and Mei Ying are saying Floyd for 1. Nikki, what are you saying for 1?
Still Beirut.
Still Beirut. And I think, Daryl, did you say Beirut too?
I did.
Okay.
And my kind of reason is I haven't seen those photos of Beirut anywhere. You know, like you saw kind of the destruction, but you never really saw like inside of the destruction for me.
Can we go to the Beirut tab?
They're amazing.
Like I've never seen.
Yeah,
so.
they're fantastic.
I saw the video of the actual
Look
explosion.
at that room.
Any of this. I love the Floyd stuff, but again, like I've seen so many incredible photos of the protests and everything.
I think you're right. This is beautiful.
To that photographer, you know what I mean?
Who is the photographer here?
Yeah, this work is incredible.
He won the Pulitzer maybe like 2 years ago.
Yeah, Lorenzo
Tagnoli.
Thank you. I'm just gonna call Susan for pronunciations from this
I
point
didn't do
on.
that. I didn't do that one. But
Oh,
this,
you did that one.
this every time we move around to the different pictures, I'm like, that's number 1. That's number 1. But initially I thought this should be number 1 because it is super strong.
Is the Minnesota stuff from one photographer or is that
Let's take a look, shall we?
series?
It's got to be multiple, right?
No, it's
Oh,
one.
no, wow. Wow.
David
It's really good.
Guttenfelder. Probably messed that up.
Yeah, no, you got it.
Did I get it? Okay, good.
He's incredible.
So it's a battle between 1 and 2. Are we doing Beirut?
I think
Are we
so.
doing Minneapolis?
Beirut.
Beirut.
Okay, you got 3 votes for Beirut. So is Minneapolis number 2?
Yep.
Okay, so that's 2 yeps.
Yeah.
Susan? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so what sits at number 3? Do we have a number 3 or 2 honorable mentions?
For me, it's wildfires.
Wildfires at number 3. Mei Ying, Daryl, Nikki?
I don't mind if it moves to honorable mention.
Or honorable mention?
I would probably put wildfires at honorable mention. I just feel like the editing is a little not tight enough on the stills, but I appreciate the idea and all the different, I mean, how hard that must have been to pull that package together.
Oh God. Yeah, to photograph it.
Yeah, so are we saying the rocket attack is number 3? Sits at number 3?
I would also probably put that at honorable mention.
Yeah, can we scroll through this one again real quick?
Sure.
Mm.
Nikki, what are your thoughts? Is this number 3 seat for you or an honorable mention?
Number 3 for me.
Okay, we got
Just because
one.
it's so hard to shoot that work and have it. Yeah.
One vote for number 3.
Hmm.
But I understand if it's an honorable mention, like don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's missing a beat within here. You know what I mean? Whether it's like a detail of the damage or like I wish I understood more about the story through the photos. You know what I mean? Like about the attack. Um, uh, this sounds very harsh, but it feels like kind of one kind of idea being presented in different ways, instead of like kind of really understanding the story. Whereas like just comparing it to the Beirut devastation, like you saw the devastation, you saw all of the different elements of it, but I think just presented a little bit better. But again, it's not the same kind of devastation we're talking about. So,
So does that mean it's a, what does that mean for you? Does that mean it sits at number 3 or?
I think it's honorable mention. I think the Beirut stuff is just so strong that it's kind of like, not that this isn't strong, but I'm comparing it to the Beirut thing.
Mhm.
Beirut thing is like,
Stronger.
yeah, it's a lot stronger to me. So I think that's why I'm like, yeah. So I could, again, this is just me. I could do Beirut 1, Floyd 2, and wildfires in Azerbaijan, honorable mention.
Susan?
I agree with that. I think that's a good breakdown.
Mei Ying?
Same.
It's all
I'm
on
I'm
you.
good with that.
All right, that's what we have.